Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're here in Orlando, Florida, here at ICAST, and we're in the Seaguar booth. You can see all the beautiful Seaguar lines behind me. And one of the biggest questions that I get when it comes to anglers that are just getting into the sport and really trying to up their game and figure out like all the different components of becoming a more effective angler, especially bass angler, is what is the benefit of moving from, say, monofilament? I think most anglers, when they first start fishing, they generally stick with monofilament. And the reason is that's the price level. You know, when you're a beginner, you don't want to be spending all this money on stuff because you don't know if you're buying the right equipment. And fluorocarbon generally is going to be more expensive. And in fact, that's a very true statement because there's some fluorocarbons that are the top shelf that are very, very expensive. And so you don't want to spend money on things that you don't think you need. So I just wanted to kind of touch on that subject in this video. And really, you've got three different categories of primary categories of lines. Of course, you got like hybrid lines, but you've got monofilament, fluorocarbon, and braid. And like I said, monofilament's usually kind of the gateway line category. And monofilament's great. In general, it's strong, and it's been kind of a gold standard back in the day, but it has some drawbacks. And one of the biggest drawbacks of of monofilament is the fact that there's actually twofold, depending on what you're fishing. Number one, it floats. So monofilament is buoyant. So for techniques where you're trying to get down deeper or you're bottom bouncing, it creates a situation where you've got a bow in your line and it's always trying to pull up to the surface, okay? So that decreases sensitivity. And it also doesn't give you a direct line of contact with your bait. And sometimes it just affects the way that your bait is presented. Now, this isn't a big deal for like fishing, some reaction baits if you're not trying to get it deeper or anything like that. But for most techniques, it seems like fluorocarbon is better if it's subsurface. For the topwater baits, monofilament may be really good. Another thing that monofilament has is a lot of stretch. It's a much softer type of line. It stretches more, which means that, again, you're going to lose some sensitivity. And also when you go to set the hook in thick cover, you got to have a much stiffer rod to be able to set the hook, pick up that slack, and get that hook point through that fish's mouth. Not to mention, the fight once you hook the fish, pulling them out of cover, it can be harder. So anyways, fluorocarbon serves anglers in a lot of different ways. The number one thing that I think benefits a bass angler especially is the fact that fluorocarbon sinks. It is more dense than water, so it ends up sinking. So it allows you to have a better line of contact with your presentation. You can feel more on the bottom. It's going to be more sensitive. And fluorocarbon it still has stretch, right? It's still a line that has stretch, but it doesn't have as much as monofilament. So stretch, the more stretch you have, the less sensitive you're going to have, less sensitivity you're going to have. So you're not going to feel everything on the bottom. Fluorocarbon seems to fit right in that key sweet spot, that Goldilocks zone, where you have good sensitivity, but you also have a little bit of cushion when you set the hook. So it's just the right amount of stretch generally. So between the sinking aspect of fluorocarbon for most techniques, for like trying to get a crankbait down deeper, or trying to get maybe a chatterbait down deeper, or trying to work something on the bottom like a jig or a Texas rig, fluorocarbon is definitely a superior type of line for those techniques. Doesn't mean that you're going to catch, you can't catch fish on like monofilament or a braided line. We're not really talking about braid in this video. But it doesn't mean that you're not going to catch fish. It's just that you're optimizing your potential for catching more fish when you think about those little details. And really, if you're looking to get into fluorocarbon and try it and you know, see the benefits of it, this one right here is the one I suggest. This is the Seaguar Basics. This is a very inexpensive entry-level fluorocarbon line. It's I think it's still $9.99, so it's under $10. It's somewhere around there, and you've got a variety of different sizes that you can choose from, and it is an awesome one. It's one that I suggest for a lot of you know, anglers that are new to the sport and really want to try fluorocarbon without, you know, breaking the bank. Another really good one that I'd suggest is also Red Label. Red Label is a really good one as well on the lower end of the spectrum as far as price, but I mean, Basics is as inexpensive as it gets for 100% fluorocarbon line. So anyways, guys, just wanted to kind of share the differences between monofilament and fluorocarbon, why you might want to switch over to fluorocarbon. Let me know what you think about this topic in the comment section below, and if you have any questions, drop a comment below. I'm going to be putting links in the description below for anybody that wants to check out Basics or Red Label. Other than that, I'm going to see you out on the water. Make sure you trust the process.